pleased to welcome Jeff Whitaker, the President and CEO of Chevy Chase Trust, to join me in this conversation today. Jeff, welcome.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah. So Jeff, you joined the storied institution about 3 years ago. Tell us a little bit about your joining and what was that like and how these last 3 years have been.
Well, it's been an exciting and amazing 3 years. I did join the firm in the midst of the COVID pandemic, but I'd had the good fortune of getting to know the organization to a degree, kind of from the outside in, having been in Washington before and then having spent my career in wealth management and investment management. And it was always an organization that I held in high regard. As I think you're aware, we operate in a market where our clients have a lot of choices. I think what drew me to the organization is probably, at least in part, what's drawn many of our clients to us. You know, we are a locally owned, we're a family-owned, private, independent investment advisory firm. I think that gives us the ability to sort of match our capital structure with the time frames over which we create a lot of value for our clients. And I think that legacy as a fairly private and quiet institution is something that also resonates for a lot of our clients. But I was drawn by that. I was drawn by the quality of the people that I met through the process, and by a number of things that we do that I think are fairly unique in the industry.
I want to ask you specifically, though, tell me a little bit more about Chevy Chase Trust itself. It's been around for a long time. Do you want to give us a little bit of the history and the background of Chevy Chase Trust?
Sure. So Chevy Chase Trust has been an independent investment advisory firm headquartered here in the DC area since 1999. Originally part of Chevy Chase Bank, but independent really since roughly the turn of the century, if you will.
The turn of the 21st century.
21st century, yes.
Right.
So we've been around for over 20 years now. We are headquartered in Bethesda, Maryland. We, in the past year, have opened an office in Northern Virginia. And we work with about 1,500 families, foundations, and institutions, both here in the greater Washington area and in 45 states.
So your role as a registered investment advisor, there are an awful lot of organizations like yours, both in Washington and around the country. So these 1,500 families have a lot of options. What is it that makes Chevy Chase Trust unique and different to them?
So I think there are at least four things that I would highlight. The first is as a private family-owned business, I think that there's a consistency between who we are and how we're owned and how many of our clients have actually made their money that I think brings a level of comfort and confidence in our staying power and how we embrace the challenges of multi-generational wealth. We have a dedicated local and senior financial and estate planning team, which is, I think, increasingly critical and also increasingly rare among investment advisory firms. We have a unique investment management approach called Global Thematic Equity Investing that we've practiced.
Global Thematic Equity Investing. That
Yes.
really just flows right off my tongue.
It can be a mouthful, but I'm happy to go into what it is in more detail because I do think that it's actually a unique approach to how we manage equities. I think it's one that can be well understood by any of our clients, but that is one where I think through time we've demonstrated a pretty unique approach to how we invest money. And then finally, we are a fiduciary, both spelled with a big F and a little f, which means that we have fiduciary powers. We can operate as a trustee for our clients. But it also means that as a fiduciary, we have an obligation to make all of our decisions in the interest of our clients, not ourselves, which is surprisingly uncommon in this industry, and something that's really a bedrock principle for us as a firm.
So when you think about, in the rearview mirror, when you think about 2023, what are you most proud of?
When I look back at 2023, a couple of things. As a business, I've been really pleased with our entry into the Northern Virginia marketplace with the opening of our Tyson's office. I've also been really excited to see the way that a number of people who've joined our organization the past 2 to 3 years have really ramped up and both adopted and embodied the culture of our organization and also the success that they're having taking that to the marketplace. And then I'd say, honestly, the thing I'm most proud of that I think it'll be the thing I'm most proud of when I look back at 2024 is we work with about 1,500 families here and throughout the United States. And I can't tell you which ones it will be, but I'm confident that over the course of the coming year, just as has been the case in each year before that, there are going to be a handful of those clients who in that year we've had just a really material impact on. It could be things we do to help them manage their wealth more effectively. It could be helping them to plan for the future. It could be helping them to manage through a generational transfer of wealth. But there are going to be a few of those instances where I'll look back on the impact we've had with those clients and just be incredibly proud of that.
Great. Jeff Whitaker, thank you for sharing the story of Chevy Chase Trust with us today.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you, Alex.